Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Vishwapad Brahmhamsa Parijagacharya Sutta Sri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Jai Vishwapad Brahmhamsa Parijagacharya Sutta Sri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Sri Prabhupada ki. Jai Granth Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. Jai. So we're reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 13, the description of future Manus. We have the verse 12 on board. And we'll be reading so we'll be reading verse 12 and 13. Tatra deva sutapaso viraja amrita prabha tesham virochana suto balir indro bhavishyati tatra deva sutapaso viraja amrita prabha tesham virochana suto balir indro bhavishyati tatra deva sutapaso viraja amrita prabha tesham virochana suto balir indra bhavishyati. Tatra deva sutapaso viraja amrita prabha tesham virochana suto balir indra bhavishyati. Tatra deva sutapaso viraja amrita prabha Mataris. Tatra deva sutapaso viraja amrita prabha tesham virochana suto balir indro bhavishyati. Mataris. Word to word translation. Tatra, in that period of Manu, Deva, the demigods, Sutapasa, the Sutapas, Viraja, the Virajas, Amrita Prabha, the Amrita Prabhas, Tesham, of them, Virochana Sutta, the son of Virochana, Bali Maharaj Bali, Indra, the king of heaven, Bhavishyati, will become. Translation. In the period of the 8th Manu, among the demigods will be the Sutapas, the Virajas, and the Amrita Prabhas. The king of the demigods, Indra, will be Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana. Text 13. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Bali Maharaj gave a gift of 3 paces of land to Lord Vishnu, and because of this charity, he lost all the 3 worlds. Later, however, when Lord Vishnu is pleased because of Bali's giving everything to him, Bali Maharaj will achieve the perfection of life. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 3, it is stated, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Out of many millions of people, one may attempt to achieve success in life. This success is explained here. Radham Indra Padam hitva tata siddhim avapsyati. Siddhi consists of achieving the favor of Lord Vishnu, not the yoga siddhis. The yoga siddhis, anima, laghima, mahima, prapti, prakamya, ishitva, vashitva, and kama vashayita are temporary. The ultimate siddhi is to achieve the favor of Lord Vishnu. Om Jnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, we are continuing our section of the Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada is quoting an interesting verse in relation to this pastime of Bali Maharaj that is quoted in these two verses. And Prabhupada is quoting this verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 3, that is Manushanam Sahasreshu. So this verse is a very nice verse, and it's very interesting quotation also. So here it's explained Tata Siddhim Avapsyati. And the Siddhi, and Prabhupada is explaining here what is that Siddhi. Because Bhagavad Gita 7.3 also explains Manushanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhaya. So that's again is a Siddhi, it's a perfection. So the translation is that out of many millions of people, the one may endeavor for perfection. And out of those many who are actually endeavoring for perfection, one will attain the complete knowledge of me in perfection. So, I was just talking to this one devotee recently, and he did this one triathlon. You have the marathon, and then we have the triathlons, which consists of swimming, bike ride, and jog. And this is considered to be like most grueling triathlon. It's called Ironman. And for those who have heard of it is very, very intense. So this is considered to be like the pinnacle, the perfection, the human perfection, which is nearly 4 kilometers of swimming, and then you go straight into the bicycle ride, which is 180 kilometers. And then you go straight into a run, which is 42 kilometers. So that's a non-stop. The whole triathlon goes a non-stop thing. And you're supposed to finish within 16 or 17 hours, the whole thing. So it's very, very intense. It's very intense. And there are people who finish it in 7, 8 hours, 9 hours like that, and they really train for it. So just to enroll in that, you have to, this devotee who is from India, and he did it in India, he ran half Ironman, and he paid 50,000 rupees to be able to run in the triathlon. Of course, there is a whole lot of training that goes behind it, and say that even after training for so many people, they will not necessarily achieve the final destination. And he was mentioning how one person actually died in the triathlon that he was running. One of the person who he has been training for it. He was quite an athlete, that person, but his heart just couldn't keep up. So even that was a half Ironman, he died halfway through. So very, very intense. So this is the even material perfection. It's very hard, and it's very rare for people to achieve. So here we're talking about achievement, perfection of a very different kind. Yes, it's a achievement. Krishna is explaining that That achievement is achievement of knowing me in full. So out of many millions of people, just like we have the example of many of our devotees who go out for book distribution, we try to approach so many people, and out of many thousands and thousands and thousands of people, how many people actually will take the book? Very, very few. And out of those very few people who take the books, we have many devotees have distributed hundreds and thousands of books. How many people would have actually read? And for those who try to read, how many people who actually understood the book? So we are really narrowing down our scope of people, from people, how many people are there in the world, to how many people actually understand even the Bhagavad Gita, which is considered to be the most basic, considered to be the ABCD of Krishna consciousness. It's very hard. I know. I remember giving one person a Bhagavad Gita, and he had my contact, so he called me later on. And he said, "I'm reading through the introduction, and I really don't like it." So why you don't like it? I said, because here it very clearly, right in the very beginning, few pages only, Prabhupada is quoting this verse in the introduction, and he's saying the Sarva Dharman Parityaja. He's talking about giving up everything. He said, I don't want to give up everything. I have a whole life ahead of me, and I have a lot of dreams and a lot of aspirations, and I'm not ready to give up. So therefore, I know what I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up this book. I'm going to give up the reading of this book, because that's more achievable. So that's rare. So of course, we had a bit of conversation, but he had obviously made up his mind, and he had just called me to let me know that this book is not going any further with him. So it's very, very rare that people would actually follow through and people would actually try to understand this book. It's rare because hardly many people actually want to know Krishna. So it's going to be rare, and it's always going to be rare that how many people actually understand Krishna in full. So we have the perfection in the modern life, which is about how well can you enjoy your senses. And I was hearing this one devotee mention that that one of his friend was boasting him about a bottle of wine that he bought for $30,000. And he said, this is the perfection of human life. I had this wine, which is considered to be one of the very expensive bottles, and now I'm going to enjoy. So that is the perfection of enjoyment according to the modern times. How well can you let your senses go loose? How much can you enjoy each moment? How much can you enjoy all the senses? Then you have one level of enjoyment is you're enjoying through your eyes by watching something, or through your tongue by tasting something. But then they try to combine the sensory gratification. So now I want to see and smell and eat while listening to some nice music. And so there's gratification in multiple levels. So you can enhance your experience of enjoyment. And then you put on these VR glasses, and then you have even added enjoyment. So the gratification continues more and more and more. And you have the whole economic development, which allows you and awards you this gratification, so that you can just enjoy. Don't have to worry about the future. Don't have to worry about the consequences of enjoyment. But let's just have a good time, because after all, how much time would you have to really fully enjoy? So let's just have a good time now with the best possible way. Let's just let these senses go completely overwhelmed with this gratification of all different kinds. And sometimes, when I'm in our Western outreach, sometimes we are talking to people, and then they tell us their story of how they enjoy or how they used to enjoy before they got introduced to this lifestyle. And it's amazing that they could even come up with such a level of enjoyment that they describe to us their Kali Yuga activities, and we have to stop them at some point. That enough. I got an idea. I don't need to know the whole thing, but this is intense. It's quite a lot. So people find it. This is considered to be the pinnacle of perfection in the modern times. Is how can you enjoy right now? Forget about future. Forget about anyone else. Let's me just enjoy right now. So the result then is that we have a society of people that are completely confused. Statistically, we know that people are so lonely. People can barely have a meaningful relationship with anyone these days. Even with their own friends and family, and they're ruining the environment, they're ruining the world so much that the future generation will not have a certain basic necessities of life, like the clean water or fresh air. And so therefore there is a growing concern among the modern society that should we even have children? Because why would you want to bring children to such an chaotic circumstances? So this is the perfection, the siddhi of the modern times. That's completely confused. There are some people though, they have understanding of that. No, maybe we can have a little more refined sense of enjoyment. People are a little bit more religious. Some of the world religions, they say that okay, we can suffer now. A little suffering now is okay. We can enjoy in future, or perhaps we can enjoy in next life. So therefore, now we can die or we can kill, but then later on we can enjoy. So, or now we can go through some austerities, but we know that in future we will get heaven, and then we will enjoy life there. So there is some amount of understanding there. There's some amount of knowledge there. Although a lot of time that can be, such persons can be desensitized to the fellow beings around them and what's actually going to help them, and that incomplete understanding leads to a lot of suffering. Can lead to a lot of suffering for people around them. There's a more finer enjoyment when we come to Vedic realm, that there are these mystics, the yogis, and Prabhupada is quoting here, that through their austerities, through their penances, they are awarded greater powers for their finer abilities to manipulate the elements of material nature. And in that way, the sense of enjoyment, the sense of happiness is a lot more. Is more higher, because just like an example is just like with our physical body, we can only enjoy so much because our senses are going to be quite limited, and the enjoyment that they can award is also somewhat limited. After a while, the same senses cannot really give us the same pleasure. So there is this diminishing returns that our the best of the rasgullas or gulab jamuns, you can only eat so much, and you can only be so much happy for so long. The first 2 or 3 or 5 are very good, but then after that, the same gulab jamuns and the same tongue, but not the same happiness. So the happiness is reducing, and until at one point when it becomes a torture, correct? But there is a greater enjoyment in a subtle realms, on subtle platforms. Just like the people who are poets, people who are artists, they have this subtle enjoyment in writing and expression. So that enjoyment is more refined, and so therefore, even in the higher planetary systems, the living entities, the bodies are subtle, and so therefore the enjoyment is much more higher than what we can enjoy here. So these yogis, They're able to enjoy by subtly manipulating the material nature. And we know the example of Kardama Muni, who with his powers, because here Prabhupada explains in the purport all the different siddhis, yogic siddhis. It says anima, laghima, mahima, prapti, prakamya, ishitva, vashitva, kama, kamaya vashaita. So one can become smaller than the smallest, greater than greatest. One can create a city or create a planet. One can destroy the entire planet. One can achieve things from any parts of the universe. One can acquire. So all these many different mystic powers are there. We know the Kardama Muni, he created an entire city, a floating city, which is considered to be a very powerful yogic city. We know also in the example, even in the many recent examples of Bhaktivedanta Thakur's time, when there was this yogi who was walking around naked, and the British Raj and the officers from there, they saw that, what is this rascal doing, just walking around naked, put him in the jail. They put him in the jail. The next day the guy is out walking around again naked on the streets. And he said, how did he come out? We put him in a fairly secure, a safe jail. So then they put him in the jail again. He comes out the next day again roaming around and laughing at the same police officers. And so the officers are confused. How can, the jailer is awake, the security guards are awake. How is he escaping that? And then later they employed Bhaktivedanta Thakur to really look into this matter. And Bhaktivedanta Thakur knew that he's doing through his yogic powers, that he's actually escaping through the keyhole of the gate. He's reducing his size to be smaller than the keyhole, get out of it, and then walk around again. So then, of course, the trick was shave his hair, because that's where they saved their mystic powers. So as soon as the hair was shaved, then immediately the guy lost his mystic powers. He was put in jail, and that was the end of his story. We know also the example of this one yogi who once came to Prabhupada, and he went around his back, and he brought out these fresh mangoes from Middle East. The most beautiful, most fragrant mangoes. And he awarded to Prabhupada, and everyone, all the disciples were bewildered. They shocked. How did he get this? But he obviously had this prapti-siddhi, and Prabhupada knew. And Prabhupada wasn't very impressed. Actually, Prabhupada wasn't very impressed. Prabhupada knew this is mystic power. And he later spoke to devotees about it. So there are many devotees, there are many yogis even now who actually have these mystic powers, and it's not considered great. One time Prabhupada was crossing river, I think it was in Mayapur or was India somewhere, and this one yogi, he just walked. He said, I can just walk through this water, and I can go across the river easy. And he showed how he can walk across the river. And all the devotees were bewildered, shocked. Wow, this is amazing. And Prabhupada said, what is the value of this mystic power of walking on the water? What is the value? Prabhupada says, 40 annas, 40 cents. Why 40 cents? Because that's how much it costs for the boatman to take him from one place to the other. So this is the value. But then some of the people that they argued, they said, but this is very powerful, like they can walk on the water. He said, yeah, Prabhupada said, yeah, this is the value. He said, now I can take a boat, I can cross the river, 40 cents. So Prabhupada said that is not going to fix his problem of life. His human problem is not going to be fixed by walking on the water or by flying in the air. Prabhupada said that even if the whole world knew how to walk on the water, is it going to fix the problem? It's not going to fix the problem. So real problem of life is somewhere else. And these yogic powers are not actually going to solve the problems. of the world. So we have people who have all these different perfections of life on different levels, on the material level, on the subtle yogic level, people who want to attain the siddhi, our perfect destination of merging into the Brahman. But even then, it's temporary, because Bhagavatam explains that even that perfection is not going to last for very long. Because after all, it is the nature of the self to be active, to be doing something. And so therefore Prabhupada will, in his purports, again and again and again, he mentioned so many times these examples of these Mayavadi sannyasis who have so-called achieved the highest perfection of losing their identity and have become Narayan. But what has become of that Narayan after some time is that they take on to these humanitarian activities, opening hospitals and schools, material activities, mundane activities, although in mode of goodness perhaps, but it's material activity. So what happened? You attained to this highest perfection, then you came back again to the material level, because it's not permanent. So therefore, all these perfections, actually they have a problem. Is that there is no real peace, there is no real satisfaction. And so therefore Bhagavad Gita explains that Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna. He said you can go even to the highest planet of Brahma, and they, the residents of Brahma Loka and Siddha Loka, they have all these mystic powers in full, naturally. They don't have to acquire that, they don't have to work for it. As soon as you're born in the planet, you automatically have all the siddhis. You just have that by default with you. But then what to do with them? The problems are still there. You're still born and you're still going to die at some point. So therefore, it's a futile attempt to acquire all these mystic powers. So here we have an example of Bali Maharaj, who has attained the highest perfection. Again, he has attained the upper planetary systems. He is, of course, the king of the lower planetary systems. And he has also acquired the earth planetary system. So he is the king of the entire three planetary systems, basically. As much as it can be acquired by a living entity, he has gained control over all of that by defeating Indra. But after attaining the supreme perfection, what happened to him? Vamandev tricked him, and he ended up losing the entire kingdom from him, from himself. And this is considered to be, from material point of view, this is considered to be a great failure. That he had everything, that he had just attained the highest perfection, but now he has lost everything. What a failure. What a disappointment that he just lost everything after attaining it. And there is a lot of fear even among devotees that if I become a devotee, the Krishna will take it away from me. What if I have to give up, or even worse, that I lose it? Krishna will take it away from me. What will happen then? Where will my enjoyment be? How will I serve Krishna? People have the concern. If I don't have money, or if I don't have good of this or that, how will I serve Krishna? So there is some fear among people who are starting off their spiritual journey in Krishna consciousness, that I might lose, just like Bali Maharaj lost everything. He had the three planetary systems, upper, middle and lower. And Vamanadeva asked him, just give me 3 steps of land. He said, I just ask you for a charity. And what is the charity? I just want 3 steps of land. If you can give me 3 steps, I'm satisfied. Bali Maharaj said, well, you can ask for more. 3 steps is nothing, you know. I'm a millionaire. You're just asking me for $10. He said, no, you can ask me for more. And Vamanadeva gives very interesting philosophy. He said, no, said, Brahmana should be satisfied. We just ask for something that's what we need. Anything more will be greed. I just want something small. So Bali Maharaj says, okay, well then I can give you. And then Shukracharya comes and says, no. Just change your mind. Just say that Just say that that I changed my mind, I don't want to give you and then Shukracharya gives him all the different reasons why he should turn around and he should just cancel his promise. Just say that before promising, you didn't say Om. So you can technically cancel your promise, you know. I'll give you the ways to cancel your promise, but don't give, because this Vamana Dev, this young looking boy is actually Vishnu. He's going to take everything from you. You're going to lose everything. Better change your mind, say no to him, remain the king of the 3 planetary systems. And what did Bali Maharaj say? He said, well, if he is Vishnu, he owns everything anyway. So then what's the point? Me holding on to it myself. And if he wants, he's going to take it away anyway. So then why should I try to hang on to it? So although Shukracharya is not very happy and he's instructing Bali Maharaj goes against the desire of his own spiritual master, because those instructions were not serving the ultimate purpose, that one should become the devotee of Krishna. And so therefore Bali Maharaj goes against those instructions and actually offers everything, or he just offers three steps, and that ultimately ends up offering everything that he owned, including his own self. When Vamanadeva asks, where should I put the 3rd step? Because already 2 steps covered the whole of your possessions. Now where do I put the 3rd step? And then Bali Maharaj says that actually it is said that the proprietor is more valuable than what he owns. So therefore, I'm the proprietor of whatever I had owned. So therefore, you can put the 3rd step on me. And in that way, you can own me. And Vamandev becomes very pleased. And he does accept everything, but then he gives something much more higher. What is that? He gives his very self. So that is the ultimate siddhi here. And that's what Prabhupada is also quoting in the purport. He says, Radham Indra Padam Hitva Tata Siddhim Avapsyati. Radha means achieved. Achieved Indrapadam means the post of Indra. But then Hitva, giving up. Tata Siddhim Avapsyati. Thereafter he will achieve the perfection. So by giving away his post of Indra, by giving away the entire possession that Bali Maharaj has, by giving that all away, he will achieve the Siddhim, the topmost Siddhim, Avapsyati. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, then when Lord Vishnu is pleased, in the translation, later, however, when Lord Vishnu is pleased, because of Bali's giving everything to him, Bali Maharaj will achieve the perfection of life. So, Krishna awards according to our surrender to him. As Bhagavad Gita says, Yayatha mam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajamyaham. Krishna is awarding to us according to our surrender, according to what we are offering to him. So for some people, they are just able to offer a little bit, and Krishna also rewards just a little bit. For those people who are able to award almost everything, then Krishna is also going to give almost everything, but not quite everything. But for those people who are actually able to award everything, not holding anything for themselves, then Krishna is able to give himself, which is considered very, very rare. It's considered very rare. And that's why the verse that was also quoted is Manushyanam Sahasraju. It is very rare that someone would fully understand him, because that it has a certain qualification required to it. What is that qualification? Is that Sarva Dharman Paritejya. Is that one has to completely give up all his misconceptions, and one has to completely and fully surrender to him. Marmana Bhavat Bhakta. One has to always remember him. One has to, whatever one possesses, everything one has to offer to Krishna. And by offering everything, we are going to get the ultimate siddhi or perfection, that is, Krishna is going to award himself to us, which is considered to be the rarest of the commodity, which is considered to be the rarest of the acquisition that a person can attain in material or spiritual world. So, for as long as we are attached to our material, our temporary siddhis, perfections, to whatever extent we have, in terms of the material opulence, in terms of our intelligence, in terms of our abilities, in terms of our fame, in terms of our whatever Krishna has given us, our opulences, to small extent that we have, to as long as we are holding on to it, to that extent, Krishna is going to withdraw or to hold himself from fully giving himself to us. But when we fully offer ourselves to Krishna, then Krishna also fully offers himself to us. However, what is interesting is that in this age, in this Kali Yuga, Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya, and he is offering the highest, the topmost siddhi, perfection, to one who is completely not qualified, completely unqualified. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adi Leela, is a very beautiful description of in the 8th chapter. In the 8th chapter, where 7th chapter, when Lord Chaitanya's 5 expansions, Lord Chaitanya in 5 features, and where it's explained, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami explains that Lord Chaitanya and his associates, he said they are giving Krishna to everyone, and they are not discriminating among who is who or who is what. He said they are giving to blind, deaf, lame, anyone who is around. This Panchatattva is just giving everyone the highest understanding the characteristics, understanding Krishna in complete, in fullness. And in that way, they're opening up this treasure house of ultimate perfection. And they're just flooding the entire world with that, with no discrimination and with full compassion. But then it is said that even after opening it up for everyone, is that there's some people they're running away from it. They're trying to escape this mercy. They are the impersonalists, the Mayavadis, all these various philosophers, speculators, and they're trying to run away from the mercy. And so for them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is scheming. He said, how can I give mercy to these fools and rascals? These people who have absolutely no inclination, who will not take it even if I'm giving for free, then let me plan. How can I give them the mercy? And so Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya, is making schemes, he's making plan. And his plan was, okay, if they're not ready, then I will take sannyas. Then they will respect me and everything that I do, and then they will also receive the blessings. They will also receive this ultimate perfection. And so in that way he's scheming, and Prabhupada explains in the purport how Lord Chaitanya is scheming, he is thinking of the ways how he can give the mercy, and similarly the Acharya, or the spiritual masters or preceptors in different ages, they are also scheming and planning, how can I give mercy to these fools who will not take it even if I'm giving freely. You know, this mercy, this perfection that's explained here, what's received by Bali Maharaj at such a price, is now available to everyone free of price, and still people would not take it. And so therefore, these acharyas, these great teachers, they're planning, how can we distribute? How can we distribute this highest mercy, highest blessings to them, so that they can also attain this perfection. And they can also make their human life perfect. So it's considered very, very rare, and for those who are fortunate to offer their respects and offer themselves to this movement of Lord Chaitanya, then they are receiving this blessing. So as devotees, we are also planning. We had a meeting yesterday with an amazing book distributor from Sydney, and we're just discussing how can we distribute these books. How can we reach out to people who would not reach otherwise to us? One of the devotees recently, he did a program in his office on the name of Diwali. He says we want to do a Diwali program as a festival of light celebration, and we had about 50 or 60 people in the office. People all dressed up in suits and ties and very formal, gentlemanly looking, and we had all of them chant Hare Krishna, and so it was an amazing event because so many people could actually participate in the chanting, and they were all clapping and they were all happy, and they were kind of bewildered. They were a little bit surprised as to what is happening when they're chanting Hare Krishna, when we're all chanting Hare Krishna with Mridanga and Kartal. It's probably the last thing that they would imagine doing on a Friday morning in their office. But they ended up doing it anyway because after all, it's Festival of Lights, and that's what I suppose they do, So they ended up joining us, and it was a great success. And so we can see how devotees are planning and scheming different ways how we can bring this mercy of Lord Chaitanya to these people somehow or the other. So it requires planning, it requires thinking, it requires compassion of the heart. So we can share this mercy with a lot of people, and we can hopefully bless them, or we can be the instruments in Lord Chaitanya's sharing these blessings to all these people, so that they can also attain the ultimate siddhi or perfection of life. So with this, we stop. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Any questions or comments or corrections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how out of the many millions, did few of them take the book, and out of the few that have taken the book, hardly one of them reads it and then understands the philosophy. But we see in the case of prasadam distribution, we give it to everyone and everyone accepts it and gets purified. So does that mean prasadam is better than book distribution? But then at the same time we hear Srila Prabhupada saying that book distribution is better than prasadam.
And best is both together. That's the best. That's why there are devotees who distribute books and give a cookie with it, or give something small that they can nibble upon. Because books might take some time for them to get through or to even pick up. But prasadam they will take straight away and will appreciate devotees. So that's the best. At the same time, they will eat prasadam, they will appreciate and they'll go away. They will hear some philosophy, they'll forget, they'll go away. Or they'll go and they'll forget. But books is what will stay with them. And we know so many stories of people picking up the books. In an average, we have seen people take about 1 year before they actually pick up the books. In an average, 1 year. Sometimes we've seen people wait for 2 years before they actually pick up the books. And when they start reading it, and very likely that they'll put it down in the first go, and then after some time they'll pick it up again and then they'll try to read it. Or someone else pick it up and read it. And in that way, they get to understand the complete philosophy. So book is a complete package. And we know so many people. One time I met this group of boys, all from Australia, from Melbourne. And they were sitting upstairs in Prabhupada room, or 4 or 5 of them. And they were all sitting in Prabhupada room, and they were like, observing everything, and they were like somewhat impressed and surprised and appreciating Prabhupada. And so I just happened to be there, and I was talking to them, and they said, I said, we have a lot of appreciation for Prabhupada. I said, okay, that's very interesting. How do you know Prabhupada? These young boys must have been in their mid-20s. So, and they said, actually, because one of the ladies from you guys gave him a book, and there was one of the boys, and he got an SSR, and he read that, and he really liked that, and so then he found a copy of the Bhagavad Gita later. He read that, then he bought a Bhagavatam online. He started reading that, and he was chanting 16 rounds not 16, but at least he was chanting a few rounds every day. He was offering food to Krishna every day, and he was preaching to his friends about Krishna consciousness. So he had his friends in Tasmania and Adelaide, and he was telling them that, you should start chanting. And they were asking them, actually, it might be a little bit difficult because you need an association. So if you think that's required, then come over to Melbourne, then, we can give each other the association, because, how else are we supposed to take association, or get association? And so in that way he was preaching, and he was telling all of these people, they were having online classes, and they're just discussing and reading together SSR and reading books online. And they read about Prabhupada, and so they were quite interested to find out more. And then finally, at one point, they ended up coming to temple. And they did come to programs, etc. So that effect of books actually goes a long way. So it's a complete package. So therefore, it's very nice. And we have the book marathon coming in 3 weeks exactly. And so that's from 24th November to 24th December, where practically everyone would try to distribute books. And we want to share this mercy. We want to share. We don't want to. These books are great. This knowledge is great, and we want to share it with as many people as possible. So we need as many hands on deck as possible, and as many books going out as possible. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Grantraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.